Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Novelist. So I know it's been a while since I last recorded this. I've been recording some other stuff. I've been recording Fall Guys, which came out weeks ago on my channel now. But we're back, and I am excited to see what's going on next. I have so many things I want to record. This once a week posting thing is a challenge when I want to play so many games. But I'm excited, so let's hop back in. So yeah, that's right, the funeral. So we didn't choose to accommodate the wife's parents. And so Linda gets a phone call. So we need to look around. So there's a field pack here, probably the friends. So we have a letter here. Anne, just got off the phone with Mom. She told me about Grandma Joe. I know we expected it sooner rather than later, but this is hitting me much harder than when Granddad died last year. Do you remember going to Grandma Joe's house after school on Wednesdays and playing till Mom got off work? How Grandma Joe always had a surprise for us, even if it was just cookies in the oven. She'd always time it so that the whole house would smell like them when we got there. I hope the minister captures those little moments, 'cause they don't seem as little now. I wish the circumstances were different, but it will still be good to see you at the funeral. What am I saying? You probably won't even get this till after the funeral. I guess I just needed to write anyway. Love, Linda. So Linda's writing a note. Coffee this morning was nice, just the two of us. So let's go ahead and jump into Linda's memories. Mom tried to hide it, but I can tell when she's disappointed. I hate they couldn't come, especially after they tried so hard to make time. Maybe if she'd called before they changed plans, it would have gone smoother. It's impossible not to think about the rough patches Mom and Dad hit without thinking about Dan and me. I should bring that up to him and see what he says. He's mentioned their history before. I'd love to hear his answer when I make the comparison. Can he talk his way out of that one? So there's definitely another memory, and we just gotta find it. It's probably upstairs. It might be in here. It is not. I don't think we can read things in memories, but I could be wrong. I think we have to be in the present. I've only recorded like 2 episodes of this, so what do I know anyway? I'm just crazy. Okay, it's definitely getting louder. To me, it feels very loud right here. Oh, because it is. So she's crying over a letter of some sort. We don't know what the letter contains, but it's most likely about her grandmother's death. So I was really worried it was like her mom or her dad or something. Call Paul first thing tomorrow morning. Any possible way to move it? Is this thing announced yet? Are we talking about the funeral? Like potentially trying to postpone the funeral? I want a new plane. So let's see what's going on in the son's memories.
Is she in heaven?
So he asks Linda.
I'm sure she is, honey.
If the grandmother, maybe it was her mom, I don't know. But Tommy asks if she's in heaven. And we get that picture. So that's when that picture was drawn. Okay, we definitely have not explored very much. We have a lot more to read, I'm sure. Dan, big news. Got a call from Brackett Books in Eugene, and they want you to do a reading from Windsong. Maybe even some Q&A, some book signings, all the good stuff. I think you should do it. In fact, I'm going to be pretty pissed if you don't. Brackett is a big outlet, so if this goes well, orders for the new book will definitely go up. I don't need to remind you how long it's been since Trammer's Way came out. If you don't keep your name out there, no one will even notice when you finish the new book, whatever it's called. Hell, speaking of the new one, why don't you read some of it too? Maybe the second chapter you sent me last month. That was pretty good. Brackett Books, Eugene, the 21st. See you there. Paul. P.S. You know the long game, right? Nailing this one could mean a bigger advance on the next book. So the dad's under a lot of pressure. Everyone's downstairs right now. Alright, so now we're in Dan's memories.
Then I so sorry. Tell me what I can do.
Just be here for me.
So this is right, I assume, after they heard about the passing of maybe her mom or her grandma. I'm not entirely sure yet. I didn't really want to be in the lamp, but Tina and Kelly left this morning. I wish they could have stayed a little longer, but it was great having them. It felt just like college again, fishing, having a few beers, talking about how we're going to conquer the world. Working through some issues on this book even gave me an idea for how to fix the logjam in Act 2. Funny how creativity works sometimes. I gotta remember to put him in the acknowledgments. So we had the friends come to try and help him with his writing. I didn't want to explore his memories. I wanted to read his thoughts. Do some serious work on that chapter first. Up in heaven. So we have not found everything for Tommy yet, it seems. There's more to explore. We haven't been upstairs at all yet. I'm sure we have stuff to read. I walked out to the bluff to remember Grandma Joe and say goodbye. And on the way back, I started thinking about what it really means to have a family, to make that your focus. She seemed to take such joy in being surrounded by her family, providing for them, taking care of them. I hope I never took that for granted. When I got back to the house, a question hit me that I can't get out of my head. What will Tommy think about Dan and me when he gets older? And what if Tommy has kids of his own? I can't even begin to think of myself as a grandmother. I haven't even been a mother for that long. I'm still feeling my way through what it means to be a good one. At least I'll always have an example. I miss you, Grandma Joe, and I'll never forget you, I promise. Okay, so this seems very sure that this was her grandmother, not her mother. He needs to call and buy a ticket if he's coming to the funeral. So we have a chapter, we have probably a phone. So we need to find something about Tommy. If we had to be quiet. So we're just looking for something. Nothing has ever been in the bathroom. These seem like extra rooms. We read this, right? Most of you here knew my grandmother. For those who didn't, I truly wish you had. She was an example for all of us. Her warmth, her caring, and her smile were impossible to forget. It's still hard for me to believe she's gone. Without her, the world is. So it looks like Linda is trying to write a eulogy for her grandmother. So if we pick the phone, that is Linda's ending. If we select the chapter, then that's Dan's ending. Can we read this book? We do not appear to be able to. Oh. And so that's Tommy's drawing. One of 3 clues. Okay, we need more clues for Tommy. Oh, but here's a journal. Oh no, Joe's funeral is the same day as the signing in Eugene. Oh no! Guys, I've been saying we're gonna focus on the book. Paul says he can't move it. He'll understand if I bail because he knows Linda. But Grove Field's a different story. They won't give a damn why I missed it. They'll just get a memo and put it on a spreadsheet somewhere and write me off just a little bit more. And it's not just the timing. If I do the reading, I've got to get that chapter in shape. It's not even remotely ready for anyone to see it. Can't worry about what Paul says. He's my agent. He's supposed to stroke me. What about Tommy? So, this is such a mess. But like, part of me is like, I kind of want Dan to go to this book signing, and I want Linda to go to the funeral with Tommy. Is that an option? Okay, I might need to go back downstairs, because like, legit, I'm just not finding Tommy's clues. Maybe I just don't know what I'm doing? So I'm not finding anything else up here. So she's painting. She has some empty canvases. Oh, here's another drawing. So it looks like it's Tommy with an astronaut. Okay, we apparently found all the things. I don't know what the second one was. Maybe it was that book. Because it ended with what about Tommy? Oh, and now he is gone. What is he doing running around? I think I just heard Linda downstairs, so he might be downstairs. First, I'm gonna eliminate the chances that he's upstairs. These guys are moving around all everywhere. The magazine says there's gonna be tons of planes. So it sounds like he wants to go to a museum of some sort. So I've been kind of focusing on the book. And so it feels like I can't just go back on that now. I hate this. This is not the choice. It's so difficult. Selecting the chapter, we'll choose Dan's resolution for this chapter. Linda and Tommy will be disappointed. However, if you've discovered Linda or Tommy's desired outcome, you will find a compromise with one of them in the next chapter. So I think we're going to compromise with Linda in the hopes that they'll split up, and Dan will go to the book signing, and Linda will go to the funeral. I don't know if Dan and Linda's relationship is going to survive me playing this game. Right. So we're going to go ahead and choose the chapter. And then we're going to get this kind of, you've seen the other chapters. You know there's like something we have to like finalize it. So air show ad, that's what Tommy wants to go to. So we do not want that. From the desk of Harold Baxter. A final entry before I depart. The bank would no doubt prevent me from purchasing the house due to the inherent conflict of interest, but given its history, frequent ownership changes, I feel confident the mortgage department will be glad to have the property off their hands. I believe I can set up a trust or perhaps a shell company and convince Mr. Lowry that we must part with the property for less than market value. I feel certain I can appeal to his conservative nature. I believe it will prove to be a shrewd investment as a rental property, and I think I now understand why people do not stay for extended periods. I find myself unable to describe the feeling precisely, but in my time here I found my mind drifting in strange ways as if it was not always my own. But the natural beauty is undeniable. Perhaps shorter visits are a wiser use of the property. Yes, I believe that's a fine idea indeed. So we do also want to find any notes about just kind of the history of the house, and probably also a little bit of our own history, whatever entity we are. We are some sort of entity that is helping to meddle in these people's lives. I don't know if meddling is the right term, but you know what I mean. So if we want to choose the phone and have Linda's compromise. Diary of Claire Bradford, September 4th, 1961. We're here, so why don't I feel more excited? This was supposed to be fun, just Roger and me. Mom and Dad think we're here with Ben and Laurie, but of course that was just a trick. Nope, just Roger and me in this big house by the ocean for a whole week. I'm sad to see there's no piano here, but I suppose a week without practice won't do too much harm. I guess maybe being alone with Roger that long is what's making me feel nervous, though why should that be? He's my fiancé after all. I'm supposed to spend the rest of my life with him. I shouldn't be worried about spending a week with him, should I? Everyone has second thoughts before they get married, right? So Claire and Roger. Selecting a phone will choose Linda's compromise for this chapter. So we're going to go ahead and pick that. Tommy's not going to get to go to the air show. I'm sorry. I also want to do a quick run through and make sure I'm not missing anything that I could be reading. Said the pilots say there, so he wants to go to the air show and probably learn about planes and stuff. But I'm like, your dad's job and your great-grandmother's funeral sort of gets precedence over that. So I feel like that was really short, so I am going to do one more pass through the downstairs just to make sure I'm not forgetting anything. I do not want to forget or miss out on any pieces of the story. This game is clearly heavily story-driven, and I want to know what's going on. We read this, right? Yeah. So that guy who's gonna purchase the house. So that's there, and it highlighted briefly, but we can't pick it. We can't have all the compromises. Alright, well, I guess that's it then. Kind of a short chapter, but... we need to whisper to Dan what to do. Dan knew his books had drifted almost completely out of the public eye, and he couldn't turn down the chance to get his work back into the literary spotlight. He drove to Eugene on the 21st and was surprised to see a line out the door of Brackett Books. Paul had delivered, and Dan wasn't completely happy with the chapter he read, but the crowd certainly seemed to like it. He left Eugene with a confidence boost that carried him for days. He knew he couldn't ignore Grandma Joe's passing completely, though, so he flew into Denver the night before the funeral and attended the visitation. He was on the ground for less than 12 hours before having to fly back out, and Linda was hurt that he didn't go to the services as well, but she knew he was trying to make the best of a difficult situation. When Dan told Tommy they wouldn't be able to go to the show, Tommy had a crying fit and tried to tear up the magazine. It worried his parents he hadn't thrown a fit like that in almost a year. It was exactly the kind of thing they hoped to avoid by spending the summer in such a quiet, peaceful place. And that's how the Kaplan's first month at the house on the cliff came to an end. Dan was ecstatic about the progress he'd made on the book. He sent Paul a number of excerpts and wasn't a bit surprised to get a gushing phone call a few days later. "Whatever you're doing, keep doing it," Paul said, although he didn't know the price Dan was paying for such great work. "I can barely get through these before the words go away." The next day, Dan made good on a promise to take Tommy into the woods and look for arrowheads, though he barely had the time. Tommy could tell his father was disinterested, but once he found an arrowhead, his spirits improved a bit. Dan waited while Tommy explored but didn't join in, and shortly after Tommy found the lone arrowhead, they returned home. A few nights later, Dan and Linda got a babysitter and drove into town for a date. They spent more than they should have on a bottle of wine and had such a good time they didn't even notice everyone else leaving. When they finally realized they were the last ones in the restaurant, they apologized and left after giving their waitress a generous tip. They still had 2 more months on the coast, and their story was just beginning. Alright, so we're on to chapter 4. The Inheritance. Oh boy. So there's been a funeral. So let's see what this is. Dan got a letter with some surprising... That's what it said. Dan got a letter with some surprising. So we're going to start this chapter in the next episode, but if you want to be around to see it, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And as always, I'm the Purple Peggy Sis, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye!